heavy and hard. You're listening to Metal Morning Drive on Metal Fortress Radio with Lady Rose and the Beast.
Lady Rose of Metal Fortress on Metal Morning Drive, WHUS stores. And with me I have Heuy from Rubikon. So let's get to Rubikon. Give us some history. Give us what's going on now. I understand that you guys have an album out or it's coming out.
It's coming out in, I think, late August. I'm sort of the worst person in the world. And lucky you.
Thanks.
That guy. But yeah, it's coming out in late August. It's called Delta. And, you know, it's kind of interesting. I mean, we've been at it since, 2000. So we're a brand new band, hot off the presses. And we were kind of a lot heavier. You can find our stuff on iTunes. Plug right there, sorry.
No, that's fine. Plug away. That's what this is for.
And that's what we do. And we were quite a bit heavier, and then, you know, we got a little longer in the tooth, and we just started kind of creating this really rootsy, kind of, you know, heavy, but also kind of bluesy. We added a new member. His name's Josh Gruss, guitarist, and we just sort of kind of took on this whole new vibe, and it was like, it reminds me of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I'm dating myself, but when they basically go into that time machine and they come back and they've got like beards and they're all grizzled and now they know how to play music. I mean, I'm not saying that's the you know, how dramatically we've transformed, but you know, under some help from Marty, who produced the album. He did Aerosmith. He's done Brother Kane. He's a really good guy, Marty Fredrickson. And then, you know, we did all of the work down at Quad Studios in Nashville, which was amazing. We did it over like 2 weekends. And then, I don't know if you're familiar with Alain Johans. He does Queens of the Stone Age, then Crooked Vultures.
Nice.
He's amazing. And then Heuy Weinberg, who did Metallica, Nirvana, mastered it. So we're really just super excited about how it all came out.
I'm very familiar with Marty because Marty actually knows my ex-husband. Because my ex-husband did lights for bands. No, we're good. We're good terms.
Loving it.
Yep, good terms. Because he went out with Cradle of Filth and all those guys at one time, and really hung out, and he talks to them all the time. So I'm very familiar with Marty.
Yeah, Marty's awesome. I mean, he's like one of those old school producers that sits in there, and it's like you don't think he's paying attention because he's just vibing and hanging out, and he'll be like, stop the track, go back. Hey, let me hear that drum. Okay, isolate it. Yeah, oops, I almost said a bad word. He'll be like, no, that's not good. That's poppycock. And we need to figure out what's going on there. And it was amazing to watch him work that way because, you know, he really is just this really laid-back, groovy guy that's kind of setting up the vibe. But he's just like a mad scientist in his head. It was just really cool working with him.
Right. Totally understood with that. Now, you've got how many tracks on the album?
9.
9
total. You know, nowadays it's like I'm very happy with the cohesiveness of the record, but the way things seem to sell and all that kind of stuff, it's almost like you're putting out 9 individual tracks that people choose or not choose to download. Obviously, you know, that for a musician is very depressing because I always like to think that we've got a theme and we're creating an album. It's sort of an old school way of looking at it. But, you know, I do think we did that, even though in this day and age that's not necessarily quite as important.
Nice. And you guys are going out on tour?
You know, we're trying to figure that out right now. We're just doing a lot of press right now, and the album is, you know, kind of surprisingly, we're starting to get some attention from it. I mean, it's one of those things where we truly do this because we love it, and when people are like, wow, that's good, we're like, really? You know, so it's been...
It can be shocking, huh?
It can be, you know, somewhat shocking, and we're trying to figure out the best way to do it, you know, in terms of touring. And I'd like to think that we can put something together in the fall, certainly late fall, but as of right now, we're still kind of doing the release portion of it where, you know, we're doing a lot of press and that kind of stuff.
Nice. totally cool. And what is the reaction when you're doing the press? I mean, a lot of people, like, how long since you've been out?
Well, I mean, we do these like little mini tours all the time. We hit New York, Boston, L.A., Nashville, that kind of stuff.
I'm going to have you for Connecticut.
Oh, we're in. I'm telling you, we'll do it this fall. We'll come through. We'd love it.
You know what? I'm going to do it because I do, it's a fundraiser kind of thing for the Fisher House for the military. You do not know this about us, but Metal Fortress is also a military family. And we have one right now that's overseas that just left 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But you know what? This is why we broadcast. All his friends, himself, you know, they can tap into the internet and everything and listen right from, because that's all they have. They don't have terrestrial. They listen through, it's funny, it's a flashcard that soldiers can buy, and all these lists of radio stations are on it. And not many people know about this, but I do.
I didn't. I had no idea.
Yep. Awesome. There's a bunch of radio stations listed, and they can go in and click on it and go right to the link.
Wow.
We have yet to get on that flash drive, but he knows that Mama's back home airing it out.
Good deal.
Yeah, he's my metalhead, but the first deployment, I'm not too happy about because he came back country head. I was like, no, go back to metalhead. No country head.
Country head. I mean, I really don't think I'm going to be offending anybody given the audience. Country music, to me, is the one area. I mean, almost anything. I mean, it's not like I'm like putting on like electronica every day. Trust me, that ain't my bag. But country really is one of the only few musics where I want to. Not Johnny Cash, not what they were doing back in the day. But true new country, I just want to swallow the bullet. I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah. Well, look what Aerosmith did. He just, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. It's almost like selling yourself. You're getting old. Your fans are like kind of dying off. I hate to say it. And
it's totally true. It's like, oh, how can I do something that feels relevant?
Yeah, and I understand that. I get that. But we know you as Aerosmith, not country.
Right. And what I also think is that people know if you're authentic and if you're not. You know what I mean? People will know if you're doing something because you're trying to get over or, you know, be like, hey, check me out. I'm hip. I can do this, too. If it was like a natural, honest, organic progression, I think people would respect it.
Right.
Which is, you know, honestly what I feel like we're doing with Delta from where we came from. But I think if you're like doing it to truly try to make yourself viable again, you know, good luck. People are going to smell it. Listen to what we're saying right now.
Right, exactly. And I think the scene, you know, it was funny because when I used to do Metal Fortress way back when, and where it's gone, like we've only came back for about 8 months, and our live streaming on the streaming side, 50,000 streams already. So we know for a fact that there's a need for it, there's a want for it, and we're getting more popular with it. And it's just now that people are recognizing it. We made a big break in New York City, and I think that's where you have to really go with your music is New York, Boston, California, the music, even Nashville. Nashville's opening up. Pennsylvania, especially because Breaking Benjamin came back, you know. A lot of good bands from Pennsylvania are coming out. Everlit. Yeah. You know, so, you know, with your roots, do you see that as being the same thing for you guys too? Like what around you, other bands near you from your hometown also make it, you know?
Yeah, no, look, I mean, right now it's funny because our band is such that I'm like out in California, we've got a guy in New York, 2 in Boston, and we come together like as often as we can, and we just have these big, powerful sort of like writing / you know, mini tour type things. And it's always interesting to see, you know, the culture and the other bands that are going out there. But, you know, I got to tell you, in terms of Boston, which is the one I know best, you know, I don't want to sound like they're not out there because I know they are, but I am not that familiar with the up-and-coming metal scene out of Boston. And when I've been there, it doesn't... The outer areas, maybe not in Boston proper, but I haven't seen, a great metal band in Boston for a little bit.
Right.
WMFR, playing today's new music, loading yesterday's favorites. Crank it up.